Hello, folks. Welcome to another edition of Creator News Live. I am so glad to be here. I've got my pal Connor Brown back on the show. We had the amazing Paul Gowder was keeping the seat warm for Connor while he was out doing. What were you doing last week? It was something fun, wasn't it? Some secret Disney thing? I don't remember. Anyway, you're always doing secret Disney things.
Yeah, I can't even remember.
Or maybe you're playing hooky. I don't care. Anyway, we're glad to have you back, my friend. So this is going to be a fun one. Connor came up with the show because I have been scrambling trying to figure out what to do as we leave for Podcast Movement and then straight from Podcast Movement to CEX. So if you're going to any of those conferences, make sure you say hi. I would love to talk, have a coffee, whatever. It would just be fun to hang out. So if you're going to be to either of those, let me know. Send me a message at jeff@jeffc.com. Connor Brown, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing great. And this isn't just 5 AI tools, it's 5 AI strategies, 5 AI tips and stuff. And I think it's also appropriate since we just got Model 5 of ChatGPT.
I know.
5 is a good number. 5 is a good number.
Yeah. And so for some reason, my chat is gone. So let me see if I can find where my chat overlay is because I want to bring in, I know we have some people here, but I can't see them, so that's not it. Are you seeing any chat there, Connor Brown?
We got Ralph saying hello.
Okay.
About it for right now.
Where did they go? So let me go to my window in here in Ecamm. That's what's the cool thing is. Show all utility. There it is. Ralph. There we go. Ralph is saying hi. Thank you, Ralph, for coming in from Financially Confident Christian, watching on his YouTube. Yeah, and there he is. Rich Graham is showing up here. So thanks, Rich. Fam. Either way, it's what? Yeah, is it really AI? Boy, if AI could clone this face and beard, I don't know what would. We're right. That's close to Skynet times. So
that's that is.
Yeah. So I'm going to hit go, and we're going to go ahead and get started because I have some cool things I want to show you. I did a training this week, and I wanted to show you some things from that I had put together. So this is going to be a fun show. So I'm going to hit go on the podcast machine, and we will get started. Hello, folks. Welcome to Creator News Live. I'm Jeff C., and you're not.
And I'm Connor Brown, and this is the show that keeps you up to date on what's happening in the world of the creator economy and more.
You ever caught yourself wondering how AI could actually make your workday easier? Maybe you're curious about the tools that are changing how we create and manage content. Or maybe you're looking for ways to save time without sacrificing quality. If so, you're in the right place because today we're diving into 5 AI tools that we're using right now to work faster, smarter, and with a lot less stress. From editing to scripting to image creation and even short form video, these tools are reshaping how we get things done. So sit back, clear your schedule, clear your mind, and get ready for this week's episode of Creator News Live. Connor, my friend, how are things in Florida today?
Things are fantastical, that's for sure. Jeff, I feel like in the last couple of months especially, it's just been a confluence of things with AI and updates, and I just seem like I'm going to it first rather than second or third when I have to get something done. So I'm so excited to talk about all the things I'm doing, learn from you, the chat, and everyone watching.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. So we're going to go ahead and I wanted to tell you guys really quick, our sponsor of the show, that is the folks at Ecamm. You can find out more about them at ecamm.com/Jeff. You can save 15% on your first purchase by using code Jeff15. And by the way, you got to sign up for Creator Camp. It's coming up really, really shortly. They only have a few tickets left. ecamm.com/camp. You want to stay tuned towards the end. I'm going to play you guys a commercial for that. It's amazing. This will be my third year because they've only done it 3 years. Third year, and it's going to be in a new location. So make sure you guys go check that out. ecamm.com/camp. All right. Oh, by the way, we're talking about 5 tools, and I didn't put this one on it because we talk about it all the time, and it's our friend Dustin Magi that. This is kind of supersedes all of the 5 tools that we're using today because a lot of the tools are actually inside of Magi. I always tell people, like, if you're wanting to get started, I was telling my wife this, that Magi is the way to go because you get access to so many things. Our friend Dustin, the founder and creator of Magi, actually, it's like usually like the next day, 5 rolled out, and I think like it was either that same day or right after Magi came out. So if you guys don't know what Magi is and you want to get started in AI, magi.co/Jeff, magi.co/Jeff. And for you guys listening on the podcast, Magi spelled Magai, and that's .co. Really, really cool. So Dustin says he's leaving because it's not one of our 5. It's the one that encompasses the 5, Dustin. So yeah, now he's bragging a little, saying, yeah, it was same day for Dustin. So, but mostly Disney over on YouTube is saying, hey, the unsinkable Connor is back. It is true.
What's up?
And yeah, so GPT-5 was announced. Our users had it 3 hours later. So once again, great tool. I'm sure we'll talk about more about that. The thing about, I was really nervous because I was doing a training for their Social Media Examiners AI Society. Mm-hmm. And when I did the training at Social Media Marketing World, like the day before the new image model came out, so I had to change all my slides. Luckily, this came out on the same day, so it was too late anyway. I just ran with it. There wasn't any changes really to the image model, maybe a little faster, but
I mean, just one day to the next, like OpenAI announces, hey, we have Model 5. It's only going to have 2 things. It's going to have, standard and then thinking, right? Mm-hmm. And then next, they're like, oh, wait, we also are going to have the Pro model and then like the deep thinking model. And then, we have agents, and it just keeps more and more and more.
Yeah. So, so we'll get into the ChatGPT stuff because I want to first go into kind of like our structure. And the thing everybody asked me, like how we split up, take this to our podcast, how do we take it to all the different places, how we cut it up. And I've talked about it before, but Descript is the one that we use for everything. As soon as we're done with the show, we actually go in and we upload it to Descript. Then my daughter Abby usually goes and gets the clips. We turn it into a podcast, but they have rolled out a ton of new features. If you haven't been into Descript for a while, it used to be called Underlord. Now it's just AI features. They quit being cute, I guess. And they just advertised in their email that you can now make like bespoke B-roll, which I'm not sure what model they're using, but it looks really, really good. So you can actually go in and type like, hey, I need to have, a bunch of scenes of, people walking on a beach, and it'll pull it up, and you can use that as B-roll right inside of Descript. So very, very cool. I think it's going to be a great feature. I don't know, Connor, do you use Descript very much at all?
I do, absolutely. Anytime I have to edit anything, I'm doing that. That does roll nicely into one of the how I'm using AI right now. And I think, Jeff, I had told you, it's about quote pulling from previously created content. Descript is great for that. But what I'm really getting at is just the power of transcriptions overall.
Right.
Finding these tools, it used to be we had to go through rev.com, right? Pay $1 a minute to get a transcription, something like that. Now it's done in seconds, right? With these tools. But that's the great part about getting the transcription. The next great part is how you can then use it and upload it to AI for so many things. Pulling quotes, learning about you, your tone, those sorts of things. I've talked about it on the show before, but I love just recording a quick video where I'm explaining a process or something like that, and then uploading that to an AI language model and saying, create an SOP based off of this transcript. So just in general, Jeff, I find I am using transcripts more and more and more to make AI work for me even better.
So this is something you can use too, because for one of our mastermind calls, we use a thing called Fathom, which is a free tool that actually pulls the transcript, and you can actually talk to AI inside of that. But you can take that transcript and drop it into Descript if you did a training or a presentation. So yeah, I'm totally 100% like having Descript and then using transcripts for all your editing now has changed. I mean, my workflow totally from what it used to be. So. The other thing that is really cool with the scripts, I think their find clips feature is getting way better than it used to. In fact, this is a little secret hack that I talk to the podcasters in the community. A lot of times we'll have cold opens. You have a clip for the show, and then you'll have your music, right? Well, finding that cold open used to be kind of a pain to do. And so now you do those clips, and you can find that perfect clip that you can just take that, put it in the front of your show, and then you have a cold open. Then you can put your music, start your show, that kind of stuff. So we use that all the time. That's one of our favorite features we use inside of Descript.
I love that. That is
Yeah.
so tedious and time consuming. You used to have to edit everything, put a marker, be like, this will be a good one, add it in. Now it can just do it right then and there for you.
Yeah. Ralph says, he goes, I use Descript every day. So do I, Ralph. But it also has been very sketchy at times. It has, but the thing that I really like now is that it is web-based. Like, even if you use the desktop app, it used to like fill up your hard drive because you had to download, use these proxy files, and then you'd have to go and unselect it and whatever. Now, even slower computers, like we had an old laptop that we were kind of just having around the house, and it would just like start slogging when we used Descript because it took up so much memory and it was using all this stuff. Now with the new updates, it can run it and I can use it really, really easy when I'm traveling, if I need to make edits. So if you haven't tried it for a while, I think they have a free version you can test. Go do that, but we really, really like it. And by the way, all these tools that we're talking about today, you can find at my toolbox. That's right, jeffc.com/toolbox. They're all there. So if we hear us mention something, you should be able to go there and find that. So, all right, we hinted at it a little bit, but this new ChatGPT model. So Connor, what is the biggest or noticeable change that you have seen compared to those older versions?
I mean, it's lightning fast. Like, and I think they know it's really fast because now that they have the thinking model, you can basically tell it to slow down. Like, hey, I don't need a
Right.
response immediately. I need the most well thought out, well rounded response for that. So I think it's really really quick. I think it's a little bit more direct in a lot of stuff. And then I think the biggest feature, which I haven't really dabbled with a whole lot, I know there's a credit limit on it, but are those agents. Jeff,
Mm-hmm.
have you used any of those agents or set anything up for in
I
there?
have not yet. It's mostly browser stuff, and I'm like, I am too much of a control freak to let it go out and like, book my hotel, or like I might use it to like plan a vacation, just plan it, but I'm not gonna like go book my flights or something. That's too like, I'm still not to the point where I will give an agent my credit card. Now I'll give a travel agent like Connor Brown my credit card, no problem. But a AI agent, I haven't found the best way. Now, some of the cool stuff where you can, and Ian was on the show a couple of weeks ago to talk about this, where you can plug in these kind of, it's almost like an if this, then that kind of pipelines where you can have it, okay, here's a transcript, now take it to this, now make this. That I think is really cool, but I haven't found one that I have found that I can use it for everything. So,
Yeah. I think one that I haven't dabbled around with, but I'm interested in is connecting it to a calendar or some form of calendar and having it set up an agent task where each day it says, hey, here's your calendar block. Here's your time blocks for the day. Here are the meetings you have, those sorts of things. So I think, yeah, like anything, first kind of couple iterations with these models, they're doing AI agents. It's going to be slow. It's going to be unpredictable. It's not going to be great until the first adopters start, showing us how they use it, how it can be useful. We'll start to incorporate it into our lives.
yeah, I'm going to show. And I played with the image model. It may be a slight bit faster, but for me, still, it's having problems with aspect ratios, which I was hoping they would fix. So I think you're still limited on the aspect ratios you can use. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I like the speed. I like it that when it's doing, if it's going and going like doing long thinking, and you're like, no, I just want a quick answer. You can just click on it and it'll do that. There's still I have some quirks with inside of a Chrome browser. Sometimes it breaks, like if you're doing an image and you're clicking on you want to like do some inpainting in it. It'll like, the interface is weird and I had to open up in Safari. So there's still some bugs. Like you said, they rolled it out like, we're only going to give you 5. And then people are like, hey, that's my best friend. You just killed my best friend. And all these people had these emotional attachments to ChatGPT 4. And so they brought it back for the paid version so you can select it again. So it's really strange how when they roll out stuff that they think is better, all this complaint happens and they kind of have to go back and kind of tweak it a little bit. Have you noticed that too?
I have. It's bizarre. Like I listened to an interview with Sam Altman, who's the head of OpenAI ChatGPT, and somebody was like, "What's with the M dashes, man?" And he's like, "Yeah, we got to do something with that." He's like, I think it's a lot less than previously, but some people like it. I mean, all the comments are like, what are you talking about, dude? It's definitely not less, you know? So it's one of those things when they're in it and creating, I guess they have a different mentality. But yeah, it is interesting when the new versions come out, people are so familiar with the old ones, but super users, right?
Yeah.
They have little nuances and things like that. One new-ish feature of ChatGPT, which is another one of the tools that I'm using all the time. It's not new to this model. It's been around for a little bit, but I think one that is underutilized by a lot of people is the deep research. I
Yeah.
think it's unbelievable. It does produce, you know, research paper level things. But what I've really been using it for, Jeff, is if I'm starting somewhere, if I'm researching a topic, if I want to dive into it, I'll give it a prompt, I'll have it run a deep research. It still takes a very long time. It could take upwards of 45 minutes
Right.
to run the research prompt that it's doing. Um, I think you only get like 25 a month on the regular
Right.
paid plan, something like that. I use them sparingly. But what I found, Jeff, is because it's so exhaustive, because it gives you so much intel, I will have it run a deep research and then I'll follow up and I'll turn it back to the regular standard ChatGPT model,
Right.
whatever it is that day. And then I'll start asking it questions about the deep research it followed. It
Mhm.
shared with me, like, hey, what are the 5 most important points of the above? Like those things, almost condensing it and getting down to the, you know, the core of the research that it found.
Yeah, I use deep research quite a bit for researching guests to have on the show because I want to ask them new questions. I usually have a theme that we're kind of going for, and I use it to kind of hone in on that. And I found it's really, really helpful for that kind of stuff. So this is interesting from Dustin because he says we're talking about image sizes in the image model inside of ChatGPT. He says every image model has preset sizes, and then he says they have to be trained on hard sizes, aspect ratios, and will never have the ability to do whatever size you want. Justin, what about Midjourney? Because Midjourney I can actually adjust a slider. Now, they may not have weird, funky aspect ratios, but I can really drag it, and they have a ton of different aspect ratios that I can render. So I don't know if that's something just to Midjourney. I haven't really played with other than the standard size ones, like for Ideogram or some other ones, but I just get frustrated, like when I'm trying to make a slide in ChatGPT, it will never make a true 16 by 9 slide. You have to go into Adobe Generative Fill and fix it for every slide. That's a big pain. So anyway.
Chris Stone has a great funny point, which is very true.
Yeah.
He's saying 5.0 is less agreeable. So unsurprisingly, people miss the
Exactly.
dopamine rush. Yeah,
Yeah.
it very much is like, you know, before, oh, yes, whatever you want. Yes, your most excellency. Is this good? Is this up to your liking? Now it's a little bit more direct, like I was saying, which I prefer. Like, I don't need, you know, like your little for a Disney reference, your LeFou coming to you all the
Right.
time, your little
Right.
servant, like, yes,
Yeah.
yes, whatever you want, whatever you want.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
belittling.
One of the things that was really interesting, and I think it was in the New York Times yesterday, but there was this guy who had this like relationship and then it went away. Like, and like there's support groups. Like it was a mental, like it's a real like addiction thing. And so it's really interesting how they're kind of gonna do like what I think TikTok and some other like Reels does, like, hey, do you need a break? Or hey, this is dangerous language, you might need to seek some help. I think they're gonna start putting those guardrails in some of these chats because it was basically this guy who it convinced him that he was so smart at math that he discovered this whole new line of math reasoning, and he was sending it off to like the NSA and stuff because of he was convinced that he had figured something else and everything else was dangerous, and ChatGPT was like goading him on, like, it's okay, you are right, you believe in yourself. And it was really scary. It was a really interesting article. I believe it was the New York Times. But yeah, as we grow in this stuff, we're gonna have to be very, very careful on how we use it. Like, we're marketers, we're trying to just get copy out and help our clients and stuff. On that note, one of the things that I found for ChatGPT, and it's even better now with the new rollout, is even creating wireframes. So I have a client who I was helping him with a landing page, and there was just no content on it. And I was like, you know what? So I went and got their website. I said, hey, ChatGPT, I want to do kind of a story brand style of landing page. And it did it with the HTML, and I could send him a demo that he could look at through ChatGPT, which was amazing. Like, that was a for me, finding these little hacks to help give service and benefits to my clients is a big deal. And being able to do that like in 20 minutes and give him like like he could send to his development teams, like I want it like this, was a big win for me. So I don't know if you found anything like that while you're going through it. That was really helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think even on that side of things, I know basic code, right?
Right.
Like I can add a header, right?
Yeah.
I can add a header, I can add a button, those sorts of things. But it is ChatGPT, especially for me, great at making, easy code, adding things in, giving me Excel formulas, right? Like I was just creating a chart in Google Sheets where I'm like, hey, I need you to track everyone's progress, make me a progress bar. It gave me the Google Sheets formula for that. So those sorts of things I'm starting to use ChatGPT for more and more and more. I did the other day. I said, hey, I need a new CTA element. I want it to be a quiz. This is how I want it to function. Sends it right over. I tested on my own page, and I have it get tweaked and stuff like that. But Jeff, there are more and more tools. Cursor AI is one of them. Lovable, I've been looking at as well, that are really, really, really kind of getting in on this market when it comes to code and helping people that know a little bit of code really go even further, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit too. But I wanted to share with you guys real quick. We're talking about, so we're kind of gone through the script. Really, it's one of the things I use all the time for content creation. It's really, really awesome. Second one is talk about ChatGPT that we're using every day. But I wanted to show you guys, so I just did a training for Social Media Examiners Society, and I wanted to show you guys a couple things that I have been doing. I call it prompt chaining, where you don't just try to stuff, especially when you're creating images, you don't try to stuff everything inside of, one prompt, because it can kind of go, you may not get what you want, and you may be not getting some ideas that would really help you later on. So I'm going to show you a couple examples from that presentation. So I'm going to go to full screen here, and I'll try to describe it for you guys when I'm talking for the podcast listeners out here. So prompt chaining is just kind of like using focus edits, like I'm telling to reduce background clutter, that kind of stuff. And I do these tweaks kind of in order. You can take as many steps as you want. I usually do it in 2, and I'll show you some examples. And if it starts going off the chain, one of the things I like to do is actually reference the last image and maybe even start a whole new prompt chain. But this is what I mean when I'm talking about prompt chaining. So this is the prompt that I use, and it's a mysterious teaser image for a new product using a dark silhouette style with dramatic lighting. There's a bunch of other stuff on here for you guys listening. But you can download these. I'm going to give you a link to all this in a minute. So this is what it came out with when I said, hey, I want a mysterious teaser image for a new product using a dark silhouette. Very generic, kind of got me the look I was looking for. Pretty awesome. So I said, okay, that got me thinking, like, make this item that is seen in silhouette a flower arrangement that florist might tease for an upcoming product. So this was right after that image that it gave me. This is continuing the prompt chain, and this is what it came up with. So I really like the way that you can kind of step things as you're going through the chat. And this is all in ChatGPT's image generator. So this is all ChatGPT. But I thought this is a great example of what you could use when you're starting to kind of go through some things. The other thing, here's another one. An image to showcase an AR navigation app that's augmented reality navigation app starting with a base photo of a city street viewed through a smartphone camera from a first person's perspective. And then I kind of described the scene a little bit more, and it came up with this, which I really like. So this is a smartphone camera, really clear image, and you can see arrows in the middle of the phone. And then on the side, what I thought was a really good little detail was that it was blurry. So it had some contrast between the two. Well, this is the second part of the prompt. Now overlay an augmented reality navigation graphic onto the scene, add a glowing blue arrow floating above the road, pointing forward along the route, and some other stuff and some text that I want on there. And this is the image that it came out with. So it's got, if I tried to do this all in one, it probably wouldn't have made this nice little glowing arrow inside of the app and the destination. It might have done it, but it may have gone a little wonky. And doing it this way lets you kind of step through the different processes. Last one, or I think we have one more after this. So design a cute brand mascot character in a sticker illustration style. The mascot is a friendly panda wearing a t-shirt in our company's blue and white color scheme. I told it to draw it simple and did some other steps there as well. And this is what it came out with. It's a panda with the blue shirt. The cool thing is that ChatGPT can create transparent images. So I could take this to Canva or another thing and drop it in there and it would work perfectly. Second part of the prompt is this. Now create a winter holiday sale banner using that same panda mascot. Place the panda in the foreground, this time wearing a Santa hat for a festive touch, and position it beside a gift box. Add the text winter sale, 50% off. And it did it for me. And it made this social media graphic that I post. I could change the text that I want, and there's the panda standing there in a snow scene with the gift, the hat, but it's the same exact character. Last example of an prompt chaining. So create a model of our new product. It's a running sneaker entirely out of Lego bricks. The Lego sneaker could be about the size of a shoe in the image, built with bricks in our brand colors. For example, white base, red stripe, black details. And so it actually did that exactly the way I wanted to. There's the sneaker in our product colors and exactly what I wanted. And then I can go in and say, now show that Lego sneaker model in a playful scene. For example, place the Lego shoe on a miniature Lego display podium on a Lego store setting. Surround it with some Lego figurines. And it exactly gave me that. And it also said a new arrival there on the inside of the store. So you can, by prompt chaining, you can actually take these things and step it through and give more detail as you're going along. So there it is, Connor, prompt chaining 101. I thought that was a fun thing.
Congrats. You've now ripped off Lego and Nike. I'm sure.
Exactly. I'm sure they'll be very happy.
Yeah.
But by the way, if you want any of these prompts, and I have over 80 of them for like businesses, solopreneurs, or whatever, you can actually go to, where is it? I have it down here somewhere. Image prompts. There. You can go to jeffc.com/image prompts and sign up, and you can get 80 plus prompts that you can use inside of ChatGPT's new image generator. So,
nice. Great point here by Rich Graham saying, cool thing is with these ChatGPT images, they're high res enough that you can take them into Illustrator and auto trace to make vector files. Kind of to your point, Jeff, about the panda, how ChatGPT can make a transparent image. You know, it's just the start. Then you can take that and kind of run with it and place it on other graphics or stuff like that. And Rich is saying you can do even more with that.
And the cool thing too is you can take those and bring them right into Sora, which is their video generator. So you can do that as well. You could take them to another one. You could take them to Runway or a Kling or even Midjourney. I've taken images that I've created here and taken to the new Midjourney and a video and doing them that way. So, nice. What about you? Is there what's our next tool, Connor, that we're talking about?
So one big thing that I've been doing lately is everyone knows I am, or hopefully you know, I'm on this journey to do 60 days in a row of short form content. I'm close to the end. Some days I have an idea, but I don't know how to structure the video. I don't have a script, but I don't know how to structure what I'm going to talk about. What I've been finding more and more, Jeff, is with the app, the ChatGPT app on my phone, opening it up and just stream of conscious, dumping my ideas into it and saying, ChatGPT, I need your help. I need to write a script about X, Y, and Z. Be sure to mention this and why this part of it is important. I need it to be less than 60 seconds. Can you help me out with it? And it gives me a script. I never follow the script at all, but it gives me a great place to structure my thoughts. So I'm constantly doing that when it comes to social media script creation and just getting my ideas out there and helping to have it really formulate and structure and organize what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, in fact, you know, that's kind of what I do even for these prompts is like I'll see an image and I'll say, hey, ChatGPT, break this down into a prompt that I can reuse myself. And like you can have your own kind of prompt libraries that you can build from the structure of images that you want to use. So that's another great feature too. Thank you, Rich. Rich says Jeff's animated thumbnails are incredible. If you want to get in on those, you can always go and sign up for my newsletter, jeffc.com/news, because that's where I showcase them a lot. So yeah, they're a lot of fun to do. Did you see yours today, Connor, when you're a robot?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh, okay. It was so weird. It was funny. So I put it up there. Yeah. You have to go and look at Connor, the robot. One of the things that this is mine. Now Connor has different ones. So I'm at ChatGPT, Descript, ChatGPT, especially the image stuff. My next one is Notion.
I'm
Uh,
interested in this because I haven't explored their AI stuff, but
yeah.
let's hear it.
So Notion now integrates, if you look to, I think it's only on the paid plans, you can integrate different apps now inside of ChatGPT. So you can go and connect your actually Notion account to ChatGPT. It's still a little wonky for me. Supposedly you're supposed to be able to go search, like, because I use Notion to save all of the stuff I find online, writing scripts, all that stuff. And you can use now ChatGPT to search on your Notion page and that kind of thing. It's still a little buggy from what I've found. Now, if you pay for Notion, they have a Notion AI you can add on to. You can select what AI you want it to run inside of Notion, and you can choose ChatGPT or Claude. The cool thing is it will make Notion pages for you. Like, I went in this week and I needed to make a client portal. And the cool thing is if you make Notion pages, you can share them. You can actually make them public to the web. In fact, when you go and get that, what I had just told you guys, the image prompt library. Yeah, that's all built in Notion. And the cool thing you can do is you go into Notion and say, hey, I need this client portal. I need it to have links. I need it to have documents. I need to have video stuff. And you just tell it and it will build the database for you. It will build that page for you. So stinking awesome. Like, I had bought a lot of templates. I use a lot of templates. I love Jay Klaus's Creator Science template that he has, Creator HQ. I think it's great. But for stuff like this, when I want to build pages quickly, it's like magic. It really is. Like, I'll just say, I need this, this, and this, and then it's done. I put in the content, and I've shared it to my client, and he can have access to all his stuff all in one place. So things like, and even like doing things like this, creating a database where you can share like images or prompts or whatever, having Notion do that for you and build it. Oh my gosh, what a time saver. So I am totally sold with that kind of integration. I hope that I won't have to pay for a Notion AI, that I can just have it with ChatGPT, and because it's supposed to work that way. It's just, I think they're still rolling it out. Very, very cool. And I live on Notion now. I fight with Lou about this all the time because he's on Evernote, and Evernote's bought by this company that's really, I think, dismantling things. And I had Evernote forever, and I just don't trust it anymore. So I moved everything to Notion. So that's
I think the power in Notion is is everything beyond, like what you were saying, like being able to share it with other people, which you can't really in Evernote. I mean, it just does so much more. And I'm with you. I love using it, but I have often felt like the templates I buy are great. They're either way too much,
right, or not enough.
Or not enough, or they use systems that I have no interest in. Like, I'm like, I don't need to track this one thing. Okay, great. I go to delete it and everything goes, explodes in my face. It's all a kerfuffle. So knowing that, like, Jeff, I was actually just the other day talking to ChatGPT being like, hey, can you help me build this? Walk me through step by step. I didn't even realize, I'm like, I should have just said, connect it, do it, get the job done for me. I'm going to do that right after this call because I want to build just a really, really simple task database and just kind of start doing it with that. I thought where you were going to go with that, though, Jeff, was I know Notion has their own AI tool.
There's two of them. So ChatGPT is supposed to connect to it. That's the one I said is still wonky right now. Notion will actually use, it's their inside of Notion, but you select the AI that you want to use. So I can select ChatGPT. So the cool thing now, if you want to, I found that building stuff, like if I want to build a database, using Notion's AI right now is better than using the connectivity to ChatGPT is what's working right now. So, but Notion AI to build stuff, like I'm seriously, I did this last week. I typed in what I wanted and I said, I need this database. And then I'm like, oh, it made it. And I'm like, oh, I forgot this. Can you add da-da-da-da-da? And it did it. And I'm like, okay, this is stinking cool. So it's going to hurt, I think, Notion templates because you're going to be able to build what you want really, really easy now. And it even like, hey, how do I make this color on this header? How do I change that? Here, you do it, or I'll do it for you. You want me to do it for you? Yeah, boom, done. So, I mean, it's really, really cool. I really, really like it. So I am all in on Notion.
Jeff, do you use the Notion Mail or Notion Calendar features?
So I do use the Notion calendar. I haven't played with the mail yet because I have a system and I'm always
Yep.
scared to mess with systems. I really like the calendar. I do not tie it into my entire calendar. So for us, the Notion calendar is synced to clients, so I know when deadlines are for like this podcast needs to be published here, guys. I need to edit guys here. So I have my calendar. Hey, you're going to CEX, and then this one is like client stuff. I like having them separate so it doesn't get too jumbled. That's just the way I work. But I use Notion calendar for that.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, you open up Notion and there's like 5 new
Yeah.
things, and you're like, oh boy, do I
It's
go
like
in? Do I
Excel.
sign
Like
in?
it's very much
Yeah.
like Excel on steroids, which can be overwhelming. But I think it's once you kind of figure out the way you want, it's so nice because you can access it from anywhere, and I just really like it.
Well, that's why my top tip with Notion is build a homepage for yourself, like your home database, and bookmark that. So that
Yeah.
way you don't go to the actual Notion home and you have the 9 new features that they have, and you get no, just go right to
Yeah.
the place that you want. We have some other people that are loving this. Kira is even saying, love the idea of working with ChatGPT, create a Notion template. She's also had the same issues with purchased templates. I'm right there with you, Kira. And Dustin is saying he's loving the Notion calendar and email. So he's gone the full Monty
Yeah,
with
he's all
Notion.
in.
Right
I
there.
So for the other tool, this ties into Notion that I use Save to Notion. There's a little browser plugin that you can use, and so I have a notes database. So if I see a great article or something, I can hit that button, and it's like a web clipper if you've used those
Yeah.
before, and it sends it to that Notion database, and then I can go and search it. And the goal eventually is because I've tied ChatGPT into Notion that I want to be like, hey, I know I remember this article where I was talking about this. I want to talk about my email. What is it? And it'll be able to find it. Now it does that pretty well now, but that's what I'm hoping will get even better.
Or I just made a note to look into the Save to Notion thing. Or even like, hey, I have my database of all my social media and my content ideas. All
Mm-hmm.
right, it's the time of the month where I have to come up with a content calendar. ChatGPT, look through my Notion content idea database. What are
Right.
5 relevant ideas that I should start working on? And it can pull those for you.
And I tell you, the thing that's really great for me is how like I have the newsletter, I have all these like my toolbox that you can go to. That's made the landing page is in Kit. It takes them to a Notion. Like that's a Notion database. The same way with the image prompt that I just made. It's a landing page. They sign up. It goes to a Notion database. The cool thing is I can go and update those things. Like it says 80 plus image prompts right now. I'm going to make more of those. So I'll just go and change the landing page and then update that as I go with these new things. Because I can now just say, go and dump it into that Notion page in ChatGPT. So I just think it's a really cool integration.
It's awesome.
I'm more excited about integrations than I am agents, to be honest.
I completely agree with that
So,
as well. Yeah,
yeah.
I was doing something. I was playing around with like Airtable and ChatGPT. That's it. It's you're building, your repertoire of stuff somewhere, and then having ChatGPT being able to access it. We're
Mhm.
just turning it into. It's becoming our intern more and more and more and more, right? We're
Yeah.
giving it access to things so it can kind of help us formulate ideas with.
So you've talked about your deep research, your SOPs. What do you use for the SOPs? I know it's the tool that we've talked about before, but you really like it.
Notebook LM. So what I found is awesome is Notebook LM from Google Gemini. You're basically creating your own LLM that's only accessing files you give it access to. So if you have the Google Suite, I believe for each notebook you load like 30 sources, and a sources is just a block of text or a Google Doc or a Google Sheet or a PDF or a video, something like that. So you upload all those things, and then when you ask the Notebook LM a question, it's only going to reference the content that you've uploaded to it. Where this is really powerful is if you put in those transcripts, right? If you put in those other SOPs, you now have an LLM that your customers, your clients, or the people that you're working with can go right to and ask it before it reaches directly out to you. And if you seed it properly with enough information, it can basically be your own chat GPT that you give to people
Man.
and access to.
See, where was this when I was in school, right? Like, come on. This would have been
Right? And I mean, the funny thing though, Jeff, is it's called Notebook LM because the original intention was me on all of these, lectures and chapters and those sort of things, and get me prepared for the test. Like it's my own notebook of notes. But now, people are using it for a million different things.
Yeah. Want to do? I have the coolest friends. So I even Peg Fitzpatrick chimed in today saying, "Hey friends, thanks Peg for watching," and of course another super cool friend is Dustin Stout saying, "Hoping we can finish this next week, but soon Magi will integrate with Zapier and Composio. I don't know if I said that right, allowing you to have the AI access to over 10,000 apps for you." See, he is firing on all cylinders over there at Magi. So thanks for letting us know. That's going to be awesome, Dustin. So you talked about So how do you use Airtable in ChatGPT? Like you mentioned a little bit. So talk about that real quick.
So Airtable right now, it's a bit more, I guess you could say, robust than just Notion, right? There's a lot more connections and things that you can do. It's still a little bit wonky. I think it's good if you want to build like a CRM or a database or like a quotes library, like of all the quotes that you've had over interviews and stuff. But you can tie it to ChatGPT. It takes a good bit of steps with a whole lot of things going on, but Airtable has a lot of its own automation. So you can basically say, hey, here's something, add it to this table automatically by giving it just a few pieces of information. That's how I'm doing it. Again, before I knew about the Notion AI, how you could do it that way, it's another great example that you can use that for.
Very cool. Yeah, I haven't played with Airtable. I had some clients that were using it, and I kind of quit using it after they cycled off. So, yeah, I haven't played with it. It was very powerful, and it was really great for keeping things organized. But I'm sold on Notion. That's my jam right now because it does so many cool things. So the last tool that I want to talk about. So it was we talked about Descript, ChatGPT. What did we just talk about? Notion. And I want to talk about my favorite one, which is Midjourney video. So I love ChatGPT. It just takes so stinking long to create images. Now, ChatGPT is a really great way to keep consistent characters. Midjourney, though, with their new Omni reference, does a really, really, really good job. If you haven't played with Midjourney, that Omni reference updates they've done is really, really cool. They've added video now, so you have I think it's 5 seconds of video and extended up to 8, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's 8. But I just think it does a really, really good job. If you are on the email list, I have been for the last month or so taking the thumbnails that we're using over on YouTube and actually animating those inside the email. The cool thing about Midjourney is you can download the video, but you can also download an animated GIF or GIF or however you say it. And I'm using those in the emails because they just capture your eye and look really cool. And I love the video feature. This is just my style. I like to do more stylized images because I just think you get a really great look. Now, if you're going for really high quality stock photos, Midjourney does that, but so do a lot of other ones. I think Midjourney's big is the way that the big selling point for them is the amount of styles that I can do. Like I can blend styles. I can take a mood board and build it off of that. And the video stuff now, just saying animate, and most of the time it does a really, really good job. Some of the other ones would go they would spaz or whatever out on you. These you can really direct. Like I can say, don't do anything with the titles. Like leave those static. And so it's not moving the titles too. It's not trying to do everything inside of the image. It'll just move. Like today I said, have me look at the watch and Connor turn and look at me. And this was funny. It actually gave you these googly-eyed robot glasses on top of it, which I thought was hilarious. Yeah, it was great. You. Yeah, I don't care. I'm trying to look good. You, I can mess with.
I know.
So it was really, really cool. So, yeah. So that's the big thing for me is using that. You can use it for so many different types of things. Instagram Reels, B-roll on your video, all sorts of stuff. So have you played with it any yet, Connor, at all?
I haven't, but I'm always, always, always impressed whenever you share things uh, um, with us, whenever you do any trainings on it. I just I don't have a need for it right
Right.
now, but I know if I ever do, like that's the number one place to go. Midjourney, Midjourney,
Yeah.
Midjourney. And we have a lot of people here who love it as well.
But the thing is, there's the bad thing about Midjourney, there's no free plan. There was talk of an
Yeah.
API access. I don't know if Dustin would know this, if they're going to let that go. But because there's no free plan, and if you have ChatGPT anyway, and a lot of people, that's one of their first purchases is go
Yeah.
get that. My advice is if you're not a graphics nerd or needing it like the way I use it, ChatGPT, great, but Magi has access to Flux, all these other image models too that are really, really good. Once again, you pay one fee, you get access to all those things. Once again, I'm trying not to make it a commercial about Magi, but it is a great program, and we talk about it a lot on here. Not because I love Dustin, which I do, but it's a great program, especially if you want a kind of a Swiss Army knife for AI stuff. It's hard to beat Magi. So, anyway, enough of my paid advertising. It's not paid advertising. It's just because I like it. So, anyway, all right. Let's talk about, as we kind of wrap things up here, like how they're changing our workflow. We've kind of dove into that a little bit, but I want to talk, especially you, Connor, because I know you have a marketing job, but also you're a big time travel agent, and you train other travel agents. So, which AI tool? I mean, you talked about SOPs, but what AI tool has replaced most of like the manual work that you used to have to do so far this year?
Oh, it's ChatGPT, without a doubt. And I think the other thing that has replaced it is it's really helped me try to formulate processes, right? So, what are the processes that I do constantly, and how can I either automate them or make them easier to replicate each and every time? So it's funny because a lot of what I've done has been asking it for help when it comes to manual work so I can make it more efficient. Perfect example, we have these onboarding checklists whenever a new travel advisor joins our team at Keys to the Castle Travel. When they join, there's a whole list of things we need to do. Before, we were just kind of keeping track of it in our head. I reached out to ChatGPT and I said, I need to do something better. How should we do this? And we came up with this whole thing. It's all housed in Google Docs, and it's just a template that we, you know, make a copy of every time we have a new travel advisor join our team. But we've used some tools within the Google Suite to help that, like Gmail templates, right? Those sorts of things. So for me, the automation really comes in asking ChatGPT how the tools I'm using right now, how can I streamline them? How can I make my processes better? So that's what I found really, really helpful, Jeff. It's like thinking of my life in processes and
Mm-hmm.
how can I make them more efficient. How about you?
So yeah, ChatGPT is kind of the gold standard. But once again, Dustin's tool can tie into that. Claude, all the big ones. I forgot one tool I forgot to mention. Is Lex.page. So that it's kind of like Magi, where it has access to all the different tools, but it's basically made for writing. It ties into Kit. That allows me to it writes in my voice better. It gives me the headlines or the subject lines that work the best based on past ones, and it suggests ones in that vein. That is the big killer feature for me. So I use that a lot. So for me, the process, the one that I use quite a bit, especially when I'm trying to figure out like new designs for clients or trying to think of a new campaign, is I can take images that I have found off the internet that I really, really like, put them into ChatGPT or Magi and say, describe this image, and then help me create a prompt that is similar, or help me break it down so I can kind of figure out what's going there. Because one of the biggest things that I found is like, what kind of design is it called? Because I don't know. Like, I didn't go to design school. Like, I don't know this is a thing. Like, I use this example all the time. Like, I wanted something in the style of the Jetsons. You know how Jetson has that kind of retro, futuristic, mid-century, modern feel to it. I didn't know that style is called Googie. Not
Googie.
Google, Googie. It's Googie architectural style. In fact, the Primetime Cafe at Disney and the Hollywood Studios is a
Good.
Googie. That's a Googie architectural style that is used. I did not know that until I went and Googled it and figured it out. But once you learn the style, then you can say, hey, I want it in that style, or I want it this style and that style. And so that's the big thing for me that I've really learned. So that's a big
One top
time saver.
I love that. Yeah, it's teaching you stuff too, you know? One
Right.
top tip that I've, recently come across is I'm big at, telling ChatGPT, "You are a blank expert," right? And
Mm-hmm.
starting it. One thing that I didn't realize is when it updates its memory, it is updating that across the chats that you do.
Yeah.
So even if you stop a chat, that's where it's your CRO expert, right? And you start a new chat, it's using that memory, right, to give you an answer, even if you want it to update your settings. There's a thing that says memory, like memory stored. And you'll see every single item where it's updated its memory. Every month or so, maybe every week, go in there and delete it out just so that you're starting fresh with each chat. And all right, if I have to have it, you know, go in a certain style or something like that, that it's referencing the most recent memory update. But also, Jeff, I've been doing that less and less. I've just been saying, do this through the eyes of an SEO expert, not
Right.
update yourself as an SEO expert. Have you played with that at all lately?
Yeah, and if you say memorize this, like if it's got your brand colors, memorize this, that'll automatically dump it into that memory
Yes.
section inside of ChatGPT. The one thing I wish they would do, like I love folders. I love having the folders that I can put stuff in. I can put files in, and it'll reference that. I really wish they would start having memory instead of across the board, because it doesn't matter if it's in a folder or not. It's still memory for everything. I wish they'd have memory for like the different folders that I have and have them separated out that way, because it's a little bit of a pain, because you can't really do client work, right? You can't go in there and you just have a folder and start doing client and say memorize these brand colors, because it'll memorize that as well across the board. So what I've had to do, because I have been doing a lot of contracting with helping companies get AI onboarded, is you have to have them create an account, like a team account, and then go in that way, because there's no really good way to set up one for somebody and then give them that email. ChatGPT really doesn't want you to do that. So setting it up themselves and then getting access that way is the best way to do it. So
Yeah, so in that ChatGPT, those folders, they're projects, right? Because you can upload all those docs to those projects. You can store your chats directly related to those projects right there. And there is a custom instructions, little thing there, but it's not great at like being that specific, right? And it's not like a memory saver or something
right.
like that. So that's something that I do think that they really need to amp up.
Yeah. And this is what Dustin says here. Take this off. Which one is it? There we go. It says, in fact, we're doing an AI Academy course module that talks specifically about proper context management and why memory is not the answer. It's not what most people think they want. Yeah. So it's probably shocking if you go in there now, if you haven't done it before, and go look at the memory and see what's in there. Like I did that. I'm like, I don't want that client stuff infecting the way it goes through mine. So go through that and look. And this is in Dustin. He's just a fount of information today. Custom instructions are actually more effective than memory. So what you were saying, Connor, about those custom instructions work a lot better. So very, very cool.
Jeff,
So
I have a question for you real
yeah.
quick. Have you been using Perplexity at all lately?
I use it more than Google. So it's on my phone. It's what I use to figure out anything. Like I just don't use Google anymore. I use Perplexity for that. I even use it in the morning because I just got so tired of news stuff. Like I think it's the second button on the phone is looking at the news for the stuff that I'm interested in, which is like usually AI and some marketing stuff. I like that a lot better than going and using the news app or some of the other places. I like it because it'll give you a summary, why this is important. It gives you the links if you want to dig deeper. But I love Perplexity for everything. I mean, that should have been one of the tools I put in there for our 5. That's our 6
Well,
extra special
that's why I brought
bonus.
it up
Yeah.
because I'm the same way. I've been, wherever I typically would ask Google a question that I know has a simple answer, I'm going to Perplexity. I'm just wondering, are there people out there that are using Perplexity more like ChatGPT, helping it craft answers and write and those sorts of things? I think they're out there. I just don't know what is more advantageous than the other.
Yeah, I was actually going to go and look at my Perplexity history and tell you what's in there, because I have a lot of. It's really interesting. I wonder if it's going to pull it up. Let me see, library. No, it's because I'm not in the right account. But yeah, so I use it. I mean, like I was like, how to fix my toilet, like stupid stuff like that. It's in there, and like even like, hey, I'm going to Cleveland. What should I do? Like, where's some good places to eat? It's just, yeah, like, what can I take on a plane? I did this. What's the difference between a Logitech MX Master 3S wireless for Mac and the normal one? I read an article, like, I was reading an article about in California, they're having all these ADU units. And I'm like, what's ADU? What does that mean? Oh, it's an accessory dwelling unit. Stuff like that. Like, just random things. Like, I just asked Perplexity, and it's way faster, and it gives me those great results. So, yeah, good call on that. Like, I had totally forgotten about that because it's part of my life so much. So, yeah. All right. Last question. Is there one skill or capability that you want to level up on before December? It could be AI. It could be other stuff. Like, what's in the Connor Brown basket that he's trying to get done before the end of the year?
I'm trying to be more efficient with my content creation and streamlining it and organizing it better. And I think a lot of the things we talked about today are going to help me get there, right? Things like using Notion more efficiently, using Notion AI to build those things and house those things. I think that's it, Jeff. It's like we have ChatGPT and Perplexity and all these things, and we can ask it for all the information in the world and ask it for strategies and how we can utilize things. But we still need places to store all this information, to store our creative ideas and those sorts of things. So I really want to get better about storing all my ideas, staying on top of my tasks for my content creation, and then having AI help me with that along the way. What's it for you? The back half of 2025, what is Jeff C. going to focus on?
So this is a crazy travel season for me, and I'm putting a lot of courses together. So there's going to be a lot of courses. Like there's the advanced AI image course that I just finished. I'm going to be doing one for Ecamm. They're takeovering their channel when I get back from CEX. So we're going to talking about stuff for how to do this, use AI for video creation and content creation and all the steps. Like today, but even more. Like we're talking about like the actual workflow. So that's coming out. So a lot of that kind of thing. But so I collect a lot of information. I need to work on processing it. So I think a lot of these tools that are going to plug into Notion. The other cool thing, Connor, when you're talking about saving this stuff is not only can I click that save to Notion button, but it also works for the share sheets inside of your phone. So, when you find an article on your phone and you're reading, you can click that share sheet and it will take you to, I'm going to say a bad word, it'll take you to the and dump it into your Notion for you. So it's really great. So you don't have to be tied to your desktop. You can do it on your mobile. And so that kind of processing, I need to process that and maybe break it down a little better because I'm really good at saving and then searching. I probably need to break it down a little better. So that's what I'm going to be working on. And then there's a couple things that I really want to dive into for video production, how AI can help with that, like even creating backgrounds and lower thirds. And so that's kind of my goal before the end of the year.
Love it. Awesome. We have some goals. Well, let's circle back in January, see how we've done.
Yeah. K-Stamp Publishing, Kelly Stamper says, mine is evaluating my business finances. Ooh, daunting task. So, and she's been using Perplexity a bit, not as much as Chat. I just like the interface for Perplexity, and it's super fast. I really like that. So thank you guys for indulging us today with 5 AI tools we're using right now. Where can people find the Unsinkable Connor Brown if they want to know more?
If you want to know more about me, the unsinkable Connor Brown, you can go to vacationkingdoms.com. You can also follow me across the social medias at Vacation Kingdoms, especially on Instagram and TikTok, where I'm doing my 60 days of short form content challenge. Only a few days left on that.
Awesome, man. It's really great. If you haven't followed Connor Brown over there, you need to make sure you do. He has some great stuff on his channel. Don't forget about those image prompts. You can find out more. This is brand spanking new, jeffc.com/image prompts. If you're already signed up to the email list, it's going to give you one email just with that stuff. If you're not, going to give you a little sequence, and then we'll be able to chat that way. But jeffc.com/image prompts. And don't forget, any of these tools that we mentioned today, you can find out on the toolbox at jeffc.com/toolbox. And special thanks to our sponsor, Ecamm. Ecamm.com/Jeff. Save 15% on your first purchase by using the code Jeff15. And they got camp coming up. Going to be there. It's going to be awesome. With that, we'll see you next time, everybody. Thank you, Connor. And thank you to Ecamm. And I'm going to play you guys a little bit of a commercial. Have a great day. See you next time. Bye.
I'm Phil.
It's Laura Clapp-Davidson.
Ken here.
Liz Wilcox.
I'm Caleb.
It's Katie.
It's Paul.
Anna Hill here.
Brandon Washington.
It is time for Creator Camp.
Creator Camp.
Creator Camp.
Creator Camp.
Creator Camp 2025.
2025.
It's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be so much fun.
This will be my third time going.
Learn together.
Lots of things to do.
I love being inspired by others.
Creative energy.
Lots of things to see.
And make new friends.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited.
You haven't got your ticket yet.
Get your ticket.
Make sure you get your tickets.
What are you waiting for?
Because tickets are like this many left.
Creator Camp.
It's really, really awesome.
You'll be like, oh, I wish I had came to camp.
You're going to leave with new skills, new ideas.
Learning all kinds of new stuff.
Unlike any other creator event.
And I cannot wait to see you.
Can't wait to hang out with you guys.
Now, if you've already been to camp,
You know what you think you're expecting? It's going to be different this time.
and if this is your first time,
Welcome to Creator Camp. Welcome to Ecamm fam.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited.
So excited.
It's truly incredible.
Are you excited?
This is the place to show up, connect, get inspired.
to leave with great memories,
I'm so excited.
I've leveled up my entire workflow
with new friends,
and built connections that have made a real difference,
and everything you need.
ready to take my content creation to the next level.
I'm so excited to hang out with you.
More excited than a toddler with a Sharpie.
My favorite part of the year.
I am so excited.
And I'm excited to see you there.
It's in a new location.
Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Portsmouth. Let's go.
The sessions, the surprises.
I'll be behind the lens, capturing every single awesome moment.
An experience of a lifetime.
It's going to be amazing. I want to see you there.
So show up ready to learn. We're going to talk about tech.
And networking with people.
I'll see you there.
I cannot wait to see you.
I can't wait to see you.
And I will see you.
And I can't wait to see you at Creator Camp.
I will see you at Creator Camp.
I'll see you there.
I cannot wait to see you there.
And I can't wait to see you at Creator Camp.
I can't wait to see you.
Bye.
See you there.